Hello, everyone.
It's no secret.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to those joining in live. Hi, Dale. How are you? And welcome to those joining in from any other browser as well. And of course, the ones listening to the replay. So, today we're going to talk about time and the illusion of time, how time isn't linear, and all these crazy things that have been happening around here and with people I know regarding time. But first, I want to start, as usual, with just getting centered with a few deep lotus breaths. That's what they're called. So you're going to imagine that you have it's like a lotus flower, and in the center of the lotus flower, you're going to focus on any part of your body. Could be the heart, could be solar plexus, a pineal gland, whatever you want. And we're going to take 3 breaths, okay? And the in breath, the petals go up. Out breath, petals expand, and all the air goes into that center that you decided to pick. Hi, Lily. Oh my goodness. And you know what, Lily? I wanted to say this little exercise that I do at the beginning is actually inspired by you and a few other people that I've seen doing this. Like taking that time to really breathe. And, I decided to implement this at the beginning of every single one of my episodes now. So thank you. And yeah, nice to see you. Yeah, nice to see you here. So let's do 2 more. So in, expand, in breath, out breath, expand. Et voila. So, first of all, I wanted to start by a quick energy check in as to what's going on around here. So, we've got no more mask mandates. Everything seems to be going back to quote unquote normal, although we know that things are never going to come back to normal. But yeah, then we've got the whole like the new government starting, and the new people appointed and all that. So there's a lot going on in France. And yeah, I mean, first of all, I mean, actually, sometimes I look at the news just to see what's happening, although I don't really, like to see TV or, watch TV or look at the news too much. But I think, it is important to kind of see what's happening. But I see it and I'm just like, oh, and I see all the noise and all the things that, are just like all the programming behind it. And I'm like, okay, well, here we are. And I saw that there's one case of the monkey virus that has been detected in France. And I'm like, oh, great. Here's another story, another fear tactic. Let's see what happens with that, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts. But yes, that's, my opinion is that there's always going to be some sort of narrative that, it's like going to get people to buy into the fear or but anyway, we're not going to go into that today. Today, we're going to talk about time. And so, this is something that I've been thinking about lately. And it's like, well, oh, sorry about the noise. My daughter's over there playing. And I told her to, be careful. But yeah, she's 6 years old. So she's going to be maybe making a little bit of noise. Anyway, so I've been thinking about this, right? About how sometimes we feel like we're running behind, or like there's something that we have to be doing, but we don't know why. It's like we feel like we have to be somewhere else, and it's this weird feeling of like not being where you're supposed to be. And I was thinking, well, is there something that I'm missing out on, or am I actually running behind? And I found myself trying to get things done quickly, and just being really in this like stressed out even about maybe not doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. But then I got this really clear message that what happens sometimes is that it doesn't mean that we're running behind. Sometimes we can also be running ahead. So that can feel like, logically we're thinking, oh, that's not possible. It's like we want to, explain what's happening, and we tend to see time as linear, whereas it's not linear. It's really just you can see it in many different ways, but in reality, everything is happening at the same time, and we have access to different timelines, but our consciousness is focused on this now moment. This is what we're living, and this is where we're creating things from. But yeah, so when we see time as linear in this density, things seem to be moving really slowly, but we can sometimes catch the energy of things that are about to happen, or we get these messages of like, this is what you need to do. But we can also get ahead and do things that were maybe not supposed to happen yet, and then the universe is like, oh, okay, you got to slow down a little bit, and it starts doing things so that you're like interceptions, or like, I don't know, I had lots of instances where my train was slowed down, or I missed a stop, or things to just kind of slow me down a little bit. I'm like, why, what is happening? And when I realized that actually I was trying to run ahead, was when I got this card reading, and the person was telling me something that happened already like a month ago or so. And I'm like, that's, something's weird. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this already happened literally as you're saying it. And they're like, well, don't you think that maybe this person will, come around at some point again during the summer or something? I'm like, there is literally no way, unless this person is a psychopath. Because literally I told this person, you know what, I'm sorry, don't contact me anymore. And I was really polite about it and setting that boundary. But I literally don't think that this person is going to come back around and want to talk to me again. So and I was like, well, apparently in this card reading that was supposed to happen this summer. So I was like, oh, that's interesting, I already did that. So that's what's going on. It's like, so now I have this idle time of like, oh, I'm like in between, a transition where there's some stuff that is probably going to happen sometime soon. Like, there's a lot of big changes for a lot of people right now. So there's a lot going to happen in the next couple months. Right. So some of us are like catching on to that energy and doing stuff already because we feel that change coming in, and so don't rush things is the big message that's coming through right now. Is there is no need to rush anything because everything is right on schedule. And yes, Lily, boundaries are critical, especially because your energy is so valuable. You want to make sure that you're spending time with people that are actually uplifting you and helping you in your journey, right? And because sometimes we're afraid to set those boundaries, right? Because we don't want people to feel bad, or we want to be nice. We don't want to be seen as a bad guy, right? But at the same time, it's like, well, what do you prefer? Like, do you prefer setting that boundary now and being clear about what you want, or letting it drag along, and then later on it's probably going to happen anyways, where you have to part ways with this person or set that boundary anyway. So it's better to just do things as you feel in the moment. And there's, of course, ways of doing things that might be more appropriate than others. Always stay kind and don't project things onto other people, because sometimes those boundaries that we need to set are definitely because of things that might be traumatizing for us. Maybe this person is bringing up some trauma, and yeah, so maybe that person is bringing up some trauma. Okay, so you know what? This person, tell them, give me some time to sit with this and think about it, right? Because there's nothing more to say. And then the person will have to get it at some point, if they don't, well, then that's something for them to work on. If they get offended or whatnot, then that's pointing at something that they need to work on. But you're being polite and saying your truth, and so that's what's needed in the moment. So yeah, listen to that intuition of like, okay, this boundary needs to be set right now, and this is for me, this is what I need in order to be able to provide my energy, or to, I guess, yeah, to share my energy with other people, right? And maybe you'll come around and talk to that person again at some point. But it just doesn't mean you're a bad person, setting those boundaries. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, Lily, because that isn't super important. Yeah. And so feeling these discrepancies, right, about time and all, there is literally a way in which we can avoid this, in my opinion. Because What I've done, what I've learned to do is collapse all those thoughts or timelines that you kind of open up, because what happens is sometimes you literally split yourself into different realities. Let's say, for example, you're thinking, oh, should I go outside for a walk right now? And you're like, I don't know, maybe yes, maybe no, and then just like thinking, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, maybe no. But there is a version of you that went out for the walk, and then maybe there's another version of you who I don't know, who started watching a series, and another version who started eating something. So you're like thinking, what should I do? And you're just like, it's like spread out. And so these timelines open up, and then you're literally living those timelines at the same moment. Like your consciousness is everywhere. So it's good to kind of like, the image I get is like timelines spreading out like this. So it's good to like kind of collapse and just bring that in and be like, okay, I let go of everything that I didn't decide to do and that isn't probably not serving my highest good, and I want to focus on what's happening right now. Hi, Claudette. Nice to see you. So yeah, and this could be in the form of a meditation. Meditations are super powerful if you just kind of set that intention of like, okay, you know what, anything that is just not really serving me right now, I don't want to focus on it, even unconsciously, right? So, yes, that's I think is a very powerful tool, meditation, and thinking about also the healing process, of like when we're getting over things, and sometimes we think we're over something, and all of a sudden it comes back, and you're like, oh, I thought I was done dealing with that, and just like want to push it away. Well, the thing is, healing is not linear either. Just like time isn't linear, healing as well. Things will come back sometimes, and and things need to surface so that you will look at them and deal with the emotion. So if you shove them down, all that you're doing really is making those things grow. Imagine it like, some people say there's like this metaphor of like the monster in a cage, right? Or in the basement, and just like shove it down. It's like it gets bigger and bigger. But if you actually look at it, you will realize that it's actually just a tiny baby that wants your attention. And then it's just, it disappears as soon as you start giving it more attention, right? Because yeah, but also we can't like just like, ignore the process. It can be a long process sometimes. And I was like thinking about this theory that in psychology, because I learned this theory in psychology. It's called the ironic process theory. So I'm gonna show you guys what this is. Okay, so for the next 5 minutes, you're going to think about anything you want. It could be your day, what you had for breakfast. Start thinking about these things. Maybe you went for a walk. Maybe you ate ice cream. I don't know, all these things. But whatever you do, do not, I repeat, do not think about a pink elephant, okay? I bet you thought about a pink elephant already. So, like, so, I mean, it's so funny, right? Like, and would this relate to manifesting? Lily says. Manifesting, what do you mean? Oh, okay, I think I know what you mean. So yeah, when you think about something, right, you're manifesting it more into your life. Yes, but it's okay, so it's very tricky, right? So you don't want to focus on negative feelings too much. You want to look at them and then let them go. But the thing is, when you try blocking them, it's like, I don't want to think about that. That's what you literally think about, even subconsciously, right? Like that pink elephant is just going to come up more. So this is a theory that was researched by, his name was Daniel Wegner, the ironic process theory. In 1987, he started looking at how people had this inability to inhibit certain thoughts, and this could be worse during times of stress, or people that were prone to anxiety, or just obsessive thoughts in general, right? This could be really disturbing, because the more they try to avoid the thoughts, the more the thoughts will come up. So it's important to think about this, right? It's like, okay, you do want to focus on it, and just that time of recognizing the feelings and letting them flow, that time is very important in order to process all those emotions and understand where they're coming from, and maybe they're coming from a trauma or maybe from a past life experience or something. And then they will flow and you will let them go, right? It's like work on letting them go. But yeah, but of course at the same time you don't want to spend, you know, weeks on end like thinking about the same thing. You also want to take action and do things that bring you joy at the same time. So for me it's this balance of doing both things. Like give yourself that time to really sit with yourself and cry or yell or do whatever you need to do to recognize the emotions. Give your inner child that space, because that's what you need really. Is most of the times it's the inner child that needs that feels the need to be heard, right? And then go out and be like, okay, now what can I do to uplift myself and bring me joy? And then, you know, focusing on something more positive, you're going to manifest. So this is, you're going to manifest things that are, yes, more positive in your life, right? So because they say, you know, where attention goes, energy flows, right? So yeah, now you want to focus on, okay, maybe you're gonna go out and you know, hang out with friends or go to an expo or something, just even a little thing that might, you know, uplift you. And then from there you're gonna start manifesting more and more things that bring you joy. And then guess what, maybe a few days later you'll be sad again for maybe the same thing. It's okay, right? Like be gentle with yourself. Like be okay. Again, healing is not linear. So you're gonna have ebbs and flows. This is the way it works. It's like you're gonna be like this, right? But the more you're conscious of how this process works, the easier it is to deal with those emotions. And some one day you're gonna be looking at it and you're gonna be like, oh, here it is again, you know, like it's okay. And yeah, because you've manifested so many other good things, because you know you've learned how to process your emotions and really be the creator of your reality, because you're creating this reality and everything that's happening is happening for your own good. Nothing is here to really hurt you, or you know, you're the only one who's hurting yourself by giving your power away to something, you know, that it doesn't necessarily need all that attention, you know. So it's like there's this saying of like I forget who said this, but it was something like people don't hurt us, we hurt ourselves through other people, you know, the way we perceive their actions. So and the way we perceive this external world, you know, it's totally depends on our experience, our past experiences. But I've learned personally to see this world as, you know, I'm safe, you know, I feel safe. And this is a really good affirmation to have, is I am safe, you know, no matter what happens, no matter how bad it may seem, I'm always safe. So yeah, you've got to start really feeling safe as in this universe, because it's really just an out picturing of you. It's like it's really just this, you're creating this hologram, like I said. So everything that's happening within you is you know, picturing the universe is literally your future self, you know. So it's you, it's all you. And when you start seeing it this way, it's much easier to, you know, feel like everything that's happening is for your own good. So yes, that's what I wanted to say, because you know, I think it's important to, like I said, not block these feelings, because some people are like, well, if you focus on the negative, then you're not manifesting because you're focusing on the negative. And I'm like, you know what, I don't think so, because um the only way that maybe you could be blocking things from coming into your life is if you act on those negative feelings. Because let's say, for example, you just went through a breakup, right? And you're really sad, and you're doing your best to get over this person. And then all of a sudden, you know, after a few months, you're just like, oh my gosh, I miss this person so much. Maybe, you know, maybe if I reach out to them, maybe we can work it out. It's like, you know, that would literally be blocking someone, you know, that's really meant for you from coming in, if you act on that feeling of like, oh, I miss them, you know. But if you just be like, okay, I know why I miss this person. I know that this person wasn't meant for me. I have to let it go, or this job, or whatever situation it may be. You're like, no, I made the right choice. the only reason why you're missing this thing is because it gave you a sense of security, at that time. And maybe in that moment where you find yourself missing this person or this situation, it's because you don't have something new to focus on, or maybe there's nobody in your life that's giving you the support you would like. So you're just like, you need that, maybe somebody near you, some physical, this contact with people. We A lot of us are very into, like, yeah, like being near people. We enjoy that, the being social and stuff. So when you don't have that, it's like, yeah, it feels weird, right? It doesn't feel right. So your mind automatically wants to jump back and be like, oh, I miss this person or this job, or whatever. But don't jump back into realities that have already expired, because that we tend to do that a lot. We tend to want to go back to things, whereas we knew in that moment that it was the best thing was to let it go. So, and again, going back to the whole time thing, yeah, we have this ability to tap into what things may feel like as well. So if you really tune in, for example, let's say somebody invites you to go out, right? And you're not sure, you're like, oh, I want to be nice, I don't want to say no. But if you jump into that future timeline, because we are literally time travelers, in this way, with our consciousness, we can jump into that timeline. You can feel into it, like, what would it feel like to sit with this person and have dinner, and you can think about it for a little bit, and it's like, no, it doesn't feel good. So there you go. There is your answer. That's literally what was going to happen. So, honestly, I think it would be a waste of your time and their time as well, because, you don't want to be, what's it called? You don't want to be selfish, but at the same time, you kind of will be selfish if you say yes, because it's a waste of your energy and their energy as well, because they could be doing something else that they like as well. And so could you. So, so you're actually doing both of you a favor by saying no, right? By setting that boundary. Again, going back to the whole boundary thing, set that boundary, and because you jumped into that future timeline to see how it felt like, right? And this could be with anything. It could be with a trip. It could be with, I'm planning a trip for the end of the year. I've jumped into that timeline several times, and it feels amazing. So I'm just like, I don't like planning things in advance anymore too much. But there are some things that you will feel it's right. But you know, but there are, yeah, there are times when it's better to kind of let things flow. Not plan too much in advance would be my advice, because when you do that, you're constantly connecting, with that timeline. And some people tend to get attached as well to things that they plan in advance, and if things don't go the way they're supposed to, then you get all like, stressed out or whatnot. So what I've learned to do is I don't plan things in advance as much as I can, you know and literally my days are just like, okay, what do I need to do today, and I do that. And if I don't do everything, then that's fine. I'll do, whatever I didn't do that day, I'll do it the next. And don't stress out because you didn't finish whatever was on your list. It's like, yeah, it's you can't go wrong here, actually. And we've got to really get into that mentality of thinking that time is always in our favor, no matter what we do. If we're behind, quote unquote behind, the universe will literally find a way to fast track you and get you where you're supposed to be. And if you're running ahead, just like I kind of was, feeling that way, it'll slow you down. So that's what we have to get into, thinking. It's like, time is an illusion, right? And the more we see it this way, the easier it becomes to just kind of relax into the flow. And there's going to be, like I said, there's going to be ebbs and flows. Sometimes you're going to feel a little stuck. Okay, sometimes maybe you feel a little stagnant, and you're just like, when does the flow start, right? It's like, I don't feel it. but but that's the thing, the more you search for it too, the less you're going to find it, because you're like constantly wanting to control things, right? Even time, you want to control it. We want to like feel, a certain way. We want things to be a certain way. Sometimes we think we want certain things, and we're like, why hasn't it happened? But again, trust. Everything that hasn't happened yet is just not supposed to. And things, probably better things are coming in, you know? So if you're like fixed on this idea of like, oh, I wanted to get this job, you know, and you get all sad because you didn't get that job, or maybe there's something you planned and it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, and or maybe the people that you wanted to didn't show up, and you're just like, oh man, you know, I thought, you know, and we get attached to things, right? People, things, situations, but you know, that's just because it wasn't meant for you. You know, something better is on its way, but you got to keep aligning to that. So here's the suggestion is that when you're feeling this, you know, like things are a little stagnant, and you don't know what's next, and it's like the unknown, and you're just like really maybe even stressed out, like tap into the moments in your life where you have passed a certain, let's say, level, or a certain like yeah, like you were maybe in stuck in a rut, and then you got out of it, and you're like, sometimes we're just like, I don't even know why I was so worried, you know, solutions come up sometimes from the no from nowhere, like it's just like, oh, I wasn't seeing that because I was so focused on the problem that I didn't see the solution that was actually either right in front of me, or something unexpected came in. These things happen, right? And so think about those moments in your life where it's like, I didn't even have to worry in the end, you know, everything turned out to be fine. So that's exactly what's going to happen here. And lean into that, right? Again, and then the faster you'll get out of that rut, actually things will start flowing a little more. And yeah, the message I've been getting here is that, yeah, things might be a little bit slow for some of you right now, but if, I feel like the end of the year is going to have a lot of action for a lot of people. And just kind of, you know, this, enjoy the summer, enjoy spring, the last few, what is it May, what is it, May 22nd, we still have a few weeks of spring, and then you got, you know, summer. Yeah, you got summer. So yeah, I mean, just enjoy, right? Like and then you'll get to do a lot of things. And then yeah, I think it's gonna get really active in any case. So yeah, I'd love to know your guys' experiences with time, and if you have anything that you'd like to share. And hi to Mark. I didn't say hi. How are you, Mark? How are you, Lily?
Hi, Shell. Great talk. I really like how you're, covering this topic and offering, a lot of good feedback, how to process things. And, with experience, for me, it's kind of, I'm trying to summarize and articulate this. But due to, a lot of trauma, from transgressions by other people, I needed to use creative visualization a lot, to, the future, for me, just making it to the future. And at the same time, and again, this goes back to, the whole illusion of time topic. At the same time, like decades ago, it's like I so desperately needed time to stop. It's like I just couldn't keep up with everybody because just the heaviness, of the trauma, and I needed time to stop. And then with loss 2 years ago, with the really painful, the most painful, sorry,
Um, um,
period in my life, and when things were finally going to be addressed, and to seek some further justice, with just just covering things, because when there's also um just denial when it's hard, when a parent feels like they may have just failed, just wanting to just get the justice that was still needed in closure. And then with the loss, and the irony is, I don't. This was right when everything shut down, and
oh,
but it's like I was able to I like I had the strength, to and for me and another family member to kind of guide us, because of everything. I was prepared to kind of take charge and kind of, keep us safe and moving forward. And the irony is, just at the time, things I worked on for a long time, just like, just a beta, that might seem real simple, but, invited to participate, in a really like select closed beta to create inspiring content, for people during the pandemic. So it was like things like that, that I've been building over time, but they gave me focus and, just strength because of what I had been through. I was kind of able to step forward. And it was actually, a therapist on this app had actually talked about that, where people, survivors can often, that, there were people that, were prepared to cope, with the shutdown, with, all that entailed because of, their experience where, if things are, to, move along, well, and, which it's great, for people that are fortunate, to not experience, but, when they do, just, life occurrences, a death in the family, that sort of thing, that they're not prepared because they don't have the coping skills. So I'm sorry. Just with the whole illusion of time, I was kind of thinking about things kind of converging with kind of like the time travels with kind of manifesting the future and kind of needing time to stop, and it never did. But then it did when the rest of the world stopped. When time stopped for everyone. Does that kind of trying to kind of I'm still kind of processing things on that kind of plane. So just wanted to
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, and I want to say also, guys, I met Lily through her show. May I interject? And I immediately felt, your energy, and I think I even told you, I was like, yeah, it's such a, a very pure heart. So thank you so much for, for the trust and, sharing your story, because I'm sure, people listening will get something from it, because it hasn't been easy for many of us, lately, in many different aspects. When we do our best to be present, to provide, uh, for example, spaces like you do, for people to share, and I think that's super important. That's super key right now. All these events and the shows, here on Fireside and whatever platform as well, for people to be able to share experiences and learn from each other and how to cope with the difficult situations. Because yes, since 2020, we've had to slow down and look at our stuff. It's like we have to look. We were forced to look within. We had really, like, I like to say, the only way out is in, really. So we a lot of people try to avoid it, but the more you do that, the bigger that monster gets, like I said. So that's what's been really interesting about these times, is that you've got all these people that are trying to avoid looking at themselves, doing the internal work, and they're being forced to do it. So things are, people are going to deal with it in a different way. But those who get the message of, like, okay, this is happening for a reason, it can be a very transformational experience, all the stuff that we're going through. So yes, definitely. And what else did you say about time and manifesting? Did you want to say something about that? I'm not sure if I got it, but yes, go ahead if you wanted to say something about that. Hi,
oh,
Hayden.
oh, thank you. Just like with the creative visualization, I think kind of a term used in the past, where now that's like manifesting. How you noted you're perceiving yourself in different realities and able to make the right choice because you're experiencing forward and choosing what's comfortable, and feels, safe. And, with, you're not being selfish, because again, if you interact also, you're protecting yourself, but you're not wasting, others' energy. You're judging where's a good place for you to be. Um, and thank you for your, kind. Oh, and Claudia also. Thank you, Claudia.
Yes, thank you, Claudia. She said thank you for sharing your experience. Yes. Oh. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Lily, or anything else you wanted to say about your experience with time?
Oh, no, no, that's all, and I'll hop down. But thank you. This is a really interesting.
Of course, I loved hearing from you. Thank you so much. And let's see. So, yeah, that was really nice. Thank you again, Lily. And I want to hear from more of your guys' experiences with time. And hi, Wendy. How are you? And I said hi to Hazel, Mark. Yeah. So another thing I would like to share is that when we're thinking about time, it's like we're trying to achieve certain things always in our life at a certain time, and at a certain age and things. And also, this is something that has to, for in my opinion, we got kind of deprogrammed from that, because there are literally people that are living the best of their the best time of their life when they're into 40s, 50s. And because it takes time really to, it takes time to really get to know yourself and connect with who you really are. And sometimes, yeah, that can be later on in your life. Some people get to do it earlier. It really depends. But there's no rush, and there's no need to be comparing ourselves with what other people are doing, because we tend to do this a lot as well. It's like, what? Oh, this person is doing that, so why am I not there? What do I have to do? And we try to, like, to get things moving. And it's like, no, it's everything in divine timing, like I said. So yeah. And what else did I want to share about this? Well, time is a very vast topic. We can go on and on for hours. There's so many theories as to why we perceive time in this way, and how it really, it's either all happening at once. Some people see it as like a circle. Like, imagine you're in the middle, and it's all happening all around you at once. Some people see it more like a sandwich, right? You got the present, the future, the past, right? And in this density, we do perceive it like a line, right? But it's like, it depends on where you're at. Like, you zoom in, and this is the way we're perceiving it, right? Everything seems to be moving really slow in this density, and things happen one after the other. But it's important to zoom out and see the bigger picture, and how, like I said, it's all happening at once. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that, or if you have any theories that you'd like to share on time. But with other experiences as well, if you want to come up here and share anything else, I'd love to have you guys share anything. And I also wanted to say something else. We were talking about the ironic process theory, right, of Daniel Wegner, and how when we don't want to focus on something, we tend to focus on it even more, because it's like that the pink elephant experiment that we just did about not thinking. When you don't want to think about something, and I'm repeating this for people who just got here. It's like, when somebody tells you don't think about a pink elephant, the first thing you're going to think about is a pink elephant, obviously, because they're telling you not to. So whatever you're telling yourself not to do, and this also falls into other things. It could be addictions, it could be just anything that you're beating yourself up for, for not wanting to do, and you're avoiding it. Then you're just like, oh man, like, the more you avoid that, the more it's like you're going to bring it into your life. So the idea here is to heal those things from the root, right? Find that underlying reason as to why you're feeling this way. Okay. And that is what is going to help you surpass that situation. It's not going to be by cutting it off. People that, for example, let's talk about addictions, for example. It's like, those take time to heal as well. It's like, and it's not going to be by like, oh, I smoke, for example. I don't smoke, but let's say, for example, if I smoked, and I want to quit smoking, it's not going to be by like, okay, I'm going to stop buying cigarettes, and this is, just going to cut it off. Okay, well, it might work for a little while, right? You might stop smoking for a little bit while you don't have them, but then you'll eventually fall back into it, because you didn't heal that trauma from the root, or that, well, the addiction, or, yeah, but it comes from trauma usually to these kinds of addictions, right? So, with time, you get talking about time, you're going to come back into doing the same thing, because you didn't look at it from that, where it's stemming from, right? So let me just read the comments here, but I was just reading the comments. Oh, Wendy says she wish she could speak, but she can't. That's okay, Wendy, and she's gone. That's okay. It's funny. Like every time she comes in, and when I ask people to come in, she's like she leaves because she feels like she no. It's okay. There's no obligation here to speak whatsoever. So just so you guys know. And what was I saying? Oh yeah. So yes, that's the whole thing, right? It's like, and then we keep beating ourselves up for things that we keep doing, and there's so many things that we can be addicted to, right? It could be food, it could be drinks, it could be cigarettes, it could be a lot of things. We humans have we're running on addictions, literally. So right, and that is something also that takes some time to heal. So that's just another topic there on regarding time. Let me see if anything else needs to come through for you guys, because I like to kind of listen to see if there's any messages or things that need to be said. And yeah, so I'm thinking about someone in particular right now that just and we talked earlier. um yeah, so there's all these things happening, maybe for some of you, in terms of relationships and family, all that, and it can be a little difficult sometimes to set boundaries with family members, or with friends, or with your boyfriends or your husband or wife, because those people are really close to you. So it's even if you set a boundary, you're still going to be seeing them all the time, or feeling like you have to have this contact because of the fact that they're your family members. So that can be a little tricky, I know. And but you do have to give yourself that time, that time to kind of step away, set that boundary, and give each other space, because there are things that you need to look at, and there are things that they need to look at. So, and that can't be done by just interacting and what's it called, and always maybe what's it called, bumping heads, or what's the word, like you're always like maybe getting into arguments or something. So yeah, so it's ideal not to let that happen, by really affirming what it is that you need and that you want. Because if it's space, then say that, and they have to accept it. If they don't, again, it's something that they have to look at. Anything that triggers us, right, is things that we have to work on ourselves. So yes, that's something important there that needed to be said, because yeah, I mean, it's just super important to take care of yourself first before you go out and try to help other people. Because when you try to help other people, and you yourself haven't healed certain things, you're going to be speaking to them from that trauma, and also projecting. You're going to do a lot of projecting onto other people as well. And so that's not going to help anyone. So yeah, and I've been in situations where I'm like, yeah, wanting to go in and help other people before helping myself, because you feel like that's your kind of quote unquote job, or because you think that's actually something that makes you feel good. But you have to do your work first, right? You have to do your work. If you can't look at yourself first, then there's going to be a lot of what's it called, backlash on that. Is that the word? Yeah, like exactly. So that's super important as well. Let me see what other messages need to come through here for you guys. Thank you for sharing, by the way. Thank you for sharing. I totally forgot. Oh my gosh. No wonder, like, I totally forgot to share that the show had started, I think, at the beginning. Oh well. Oh man. But that's okay. People will catch the recording. Just like- um and I might change the schedule. I'm not sure yet. I was thinking about hosting an event, but like on Zoom, like, to have more of like yeah, and a private kind of a space where people can share experiences and dreams and things like this, so I'm thinking about how I can structure this, and I'm thinking about doing it this on Sunday evenings, because I think that's when most people around the world are available. So for a little while I might change the recordings of this to another day, just so you guys know, but it's still, in process. It's still not decided yet. I'm also going to have a few other people as guests, at some point. So yeah, and let's see here what we have in the comments. I forgot to read for a little bit. Hold on. Okay, yes. It's yeah, yeah. I'm glad you guys agree with what I'm saying. And so I would love to hear if you guys have anything else to share. I forgot to put in the fortune cookie to let you guys record messages on Instagram, but that's fine. You guys can just come up here and talk if you'd like. Let me see if there's anything else that wants to be said today. Let me check. Let me check if I forgot anything, because I do have my notes here. Oh yes, I did want to say this, and I think this is important. Oh, hi Hazel. I did want to say first that the sun is still in Taurus, in the constellation of Taurus, so it's not Gemini season. Okay, I know Claudette was like saying this the other day. I was like, yeah, that's so true. It's not. We're still not in Gemini season. Okay, so I did want to just say that, because I know there's a ton of people around, like around everywhere, say, oh, Gemini season has started. No, you can look up with an app if you'd like. So I want to welcome Hazel. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. It's morning time, so I just woke up a bit ago. That's why I was late.
Ah, that's okay. No worries. Yeah, that's all good. It's all like in divine timing, like I said, right? You're here when you're
Yeah,
supposed to be here.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I love the space like that we create every time, because I was telling Claudette the other day, like every single time when there's an event or a recording, the people that are there, are meant to be there. So it's not, there's no forcing things, right? It's not like I was saying earlier, like sometimes we're like bummed, like, oh, I wish this person had come. Oh, I wish more people were here. Like, no, this is exactly what I need. This is perfect. So thank you
Yes.
so much for being here. Yes.
Thank
So
you.
so, how about you? What do you think about time, and what's your experience with time lately?
Um, Honestly, I actually I feel like I have a lot of time on my hands. But at the same time I don't. Just
Mm.
because I'm currently stay-at-home mom. I just had a baby 5 months ago and
Oh
um yeah, so I mean I'm at home pretty much with her all
yes. Oh,
day but at the same time I feel like I don't have enough time to do the things that, you
I
know, I
get you.
want to do or stuff like that.
Is this your only child, or do you have another child as well?
No, I have a son. His name's Leonardo. He's 5 years old.
Gosh, so you have two. I was already overwhelmed with mine, like when she was that age. I
Yeah.
totally get you, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's like there's not enough hours in the day. It's like,
definitely. And after having kids, I feel like time speeds up. It's so crazy
Mhm.
because you're watching somebody else grow up and they change pretty much like every day. So,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly, right. So that's how we're also masters of this reality, because when we focus on something too much, it's like time slows down, right? It's like when you're listening to a lecture that's like, oh my gosh, this is so boring, and then you look at the clock and it's like it seems like an hour and it's only been a minute. But
Yeah.
when you're either having fun or doing things that need your attention, but not in that way of you're like obsessing about it, then time seems to go really fast. So yeah, that's why it's a big illusion, right? So
Yeah, definitely.
yes. And so for example, what do you think about the theories and all, like behind time, and how we perceive it here, and yeah, how would you, I guess that's not a good question. How would you go about explaining time if you had to like define it, or like yeah, like how do you feel like it is, in your life, like besides the fact that it goes really fast, but do you see it as more linear? Do you perceive it as like sometimes it's off, or tell me more about it.
Well, I don't have a lot. I haven't really dabbled into like time, that subject, but I feel like just it's so strange because I feel like I'm still a young child, even now that I'm in a different place in my life, and I still feel um like those memories of my childhood are ever so present that I feel like um I don't know, like I'm experiencing them now in a way as well.
Hmm.
Um
Mhm.
and so I don't know, I feel like in that way for me time is blurred, but I honestly haven't dabbled much into the concept of time, which is why I was so interested in you speaking about it.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so oh, thank you, Lily. Yeah, because I don't know why there's this question that wants to come up, and I'm having a hard time rephrasing it. And now that I'm thinking a little bit more about it, I guess what I would like to know more about is how you've experienced dreams lately, because that is so related to how we experience time, and in dreams it's like super different compared to
Yeah.
here. So yeah, so what do you think? Yeah, what have your dreams been like lately?
Honestly, they've been pretty vivid. I haven't had much time to write them down in the mornings. I usually would write them down, but it's morning time here. I woke up a bit ago, and I still kind of remember. I had a dream where I was literally laying down in my room where I am at now, and it looked exactly the same. And but in my dream, there was a bunch of insects like in my room everywhere. There was spiders, and there was like a
Oh,
centipede, and just and I'm I cringe. I don't really like insects, and they were everywhere. And I remember I was freaking out in the dream, and I was calling the people in the house like to come help me with it. And all of a sudden I was in a bathroom, and it was like a really dirty bathroom, and my son was in there, and his feet were like in dirty water, and he was like stepping in like a drain, and it was really dirty. And I just remember telling him not to step in there, that it was dirty and germs, whatever. And then I woke up. But that's pretty much what I remember from that dream. And it feels so real that when you wake up, well, when I wake up sometimes, I don't know, it feels like another reality. So it
wow.
does, mess with that illusion of time.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So what caught my attention here about what you said is the dream, in the part where you're in the dirty bathroom, because that has been reoccurring for me as well. So that's
Mhm.
super interesting. Yeah, and you're not the only person in this my immediate circle that has talked about a dirty bathroom. And you and I know have like in skystrology, right? We have this connect. Are you also one of the people who had like a 14 or 9 degrees of focus, I think?
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've read into the chart.
God, yeah. But in any case, there was we are aligned in a certain way because we were
Yeah.
both that same talk, that we were doing about the dreams and stuff, and the dream work workshop that we did. So in any case, I do remember sharing a little bit about this, and then somebody else told me, yeah, me too. I've been having also a lot of dreams in the bathrooms and stuff. So, and even a few days ago, I had one again. So I'm like thinking, this can mean so many things.
Mhm.
What I've been kind of tapping into is like, it has a lot to do with how we deal with how we see the problems in our lives, it seems like. Or someone was saying, it's like, how do you deal with your shit, kind of thing. It's like, it's a representation of that, of how you feel. And for me, it was a very, even like a small space, it's like you feel like you can't really even move.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that says
I
a lot.
associate, for some reason, I associate water and dreams with like emotions.
That too, yes, of course.
And
And
it's
if it
not the first dream I've had in a bathtub.
mm,
I've dreamt myself in a bathtub, and it's like filling up with dirty water too. And it's been recently.
Right. So
Yeah.
the water, right, it could represent definitely the emotions. So there's some stuff there that needs to be dealt with, it seems like, for us. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And I think I told you this. I think there's going to be some truths that need to come to the surface, to need to be seen. But it's like, again, everything in time. And so for me it feels like it's this way, like I'm uncovering so many truths all the time through my dreams, or just through in my reality, because it's all
Yeah.
interlinked, right? So whenever I focus on something, especially lately, I've been trying to work on certain things or doing certain techniques before bed, and I've been getting really interesting messages during dream state. So I'm definitely thinking about holding a workshop that will be working on this kind of stuff. So yeah, and
Wow.
what do you think?
I think that's great. That's awesome. I always love to be a part of that. Um,
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay, well, I'll let you guys know more about that soon. I'm still working on ideas here and thinking how I can structure it and stuff. So yeah, and I know Claudette likes the idea too. So I'm really grateful for you guys' support, honestly, because yeah, we're all in this together, and it's been so crazy with dream state and just the way we perceive time here, compared to what happens in our dreams. It's That's also another way that we can actually prove that it's not linear, because I don't know if you've had this, but like sometimes it's like you're in a dream and you feel like you've been inside of it forever, and you wake up and it's like you were gone for months or something. Has that happened to you?
Yes. Yes. And I've had moments where I close my eyes and I'm already dreaming and I wake up and it's only been a couple of minutes. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because supposedly we have to go in, towards REM sleep to get dreams usually and stuff, and it's like, wait a second, like that clock just, well, yeah, like you said, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I've even heard of people that have literally gone backwards in times, that it feels like, for them. So they've seen the clock say something, and then it's like the clock moved backwards even, and I'm just like, yeah,
Oh, wow.
that that's crazy, right? It's like yeah, or I was it who was it that said, it wasn't even in dream state. Someone had said this, and it wasn't in dream state. It was literally they went to the supermarket or something, and they saw the time in their car. They went shopping, and when they came back, it was before that time. So it's like,
What?
what? Yeah, right. So it's like glitches, or time glitches sometimes in this matrix, it feels like. And people might be trying to explain this as like, oh, it's probably just your brain, like,
Yeah.
not functioning properly or
Yeah.
whatnot. But I was like, I don't think so, because I've had more of this kind of stuff happen after I started working on myself and doing meditation. And science proves that your brain functions better when you do meditation. Like, there's more coherence. They've done studies where the brain literally has more neural connections and more activated, and that it functions faster. You have faster reaction times when you're doing certain tasks. So
Mhm.
how do you explain that? Is my brain actually more damaged after meditation? That doesn't make any sense?
Yeah. And see, I this is what I love about you and your podcast is that you explain in a way like how your brain works and all of that. And to me that's really interesting as well because I do like the scientific side, but I'm also like a mystic. So I feel like you merge it and blend it very seamlessly. And then I do want to say I haven't experienced like a glitch in time, but one time years ago when I was a teenager, I got in the shower and all of a sudden the handle to turn the shower on was like the opposite way. So I do remember that very clearly. So weird.
Yeah, it's like we jump into different realities where things are of different colors, or yes, I've had that too. And I even had that happen at the supermarket, or was it like an open market the other day. I did something that maybe, like, was weird to the people there, because I told several people about it and they looked at me like I was crazy. The thing is, I saw that there was this area in one of the posts, like, what do you call it? Not the post, like, or yeah, the person who's selling things, was like, had something completely different from the day before. And I was like, that wasn't there yesterday. And they're like, yeah, it's always been here. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay. And then I told the guy, there were some guys there that I used to talk to a lot, pretty cute guys that are just like, they were kind of flirting with me and stuff, and I was like, oh, hey guys, like, I saw this. And they're just like, they looked at me like I was crazy. One of them even stopped looking at me, and he just like looked down.
Oh
So
my God.
say. I didn't say anything else. I was just like, but I told him, I swear to you guys, sometimes I feel like I'm jumping into different
Yeah,
realities. I'm just like,
things are different. Yeah.
so I was just like, okay, well, but you know what else I thought besides that? I was like, and this is maybe for another topic too. Is like, don't care about what people think. Just say what you think, and that will maybe spark something in them, regardless of if they think you're crazy. And if they don't want to talk to you anymore after that, because that's literally what happened, they don't talk to me
Yeah.
anymore. I don't. I'm like, oh, okay, that's just people that are not meant to be in your life. Whatever, like.
Yeah, for sure. I've had my share of those moments where I say something and people are like, "Oh my gosh, this girl," and I'm like embarrassed after. But no, you got to see what you think.
Exactly. And you know what? Also, things are going to start getting crazier in this world, and people will remember that crazy girl that said,
Mhm.
that thing about the new thing that they hadn't seen one day, and that they jumped into a reality that was different than the
Yeah.
from the day before. They'll remember you, and that's what's important here, is that we're leaving these like little, like, I guess, like breadcrumbs, or like,
Yeah.
sparking people with these little things that we do. And who cares if people think we're crazy, because we know we're not. That's what's important, right?
Yes. I for sure one of my friends, years ago, one of my friends was kind of like scared about like the subjects like esoteric subjects, I guess, or um and I would tell her, like I'm seeking guidance, like tarot. I'm seeking guidance from myself because she was associating it with religion and how it was really bad. And just a tool. And now it's so prominent, like people use it everywhere on Twitter, even Instagram. There's like offerings and stuff, and now she's super into that. And so yeah, you never know when it might click for them, or they might actually look into it after just bringing up certain things that you like
Yeah.
or believe in, or yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. So, yeah, keep sharing your truth. And it's nice that you said that about the bringing in that balance, because yes, I definitely strive for that balance. And it's not easy, because first of all, it's difficult to find, I think, people that are actually searching for that balance as well, because a lot of people are either too much into the, oh, I wanted it to be explained by science. And usually they're going to be looking at mainstream science, which, as we know, is usually very off from what's actually happening, or it's just very on the surface, and not really considering the multidimensionality of this reality that we live in, and that we ourselves are as well. We are multidimensional beings.
Mhm.
So yes, and or some people are completely on the other side of spirituality, just very extreme, I guess, spirituality and love and light kind of movement, where yes, okay, it's cool to have that, but that's like, at the same time, you've got to find that middle ground. For me, it's like, if you're constantly thinking that just things are just going to happen, but you're not doing anything yourself, and you're just kind of letting things happen, sitting back, that for me is not, it's not the way to go either. Because going back on the concept of time and all, yes, you can definitely just sit there and not do anything, but you also might miss opportunities, right? If or you got to take some action steps as well in order to reach your goals, and not just
Mhm.
think that the universe is going to provide you everything either. So yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but for some
Yeah.
reason that needed to be said.
Yeah. Last night actually, one of my family members said that, when their kids were younger, they would usually ask like if they could do this or that, like go to Disneyland, and she would be like, "Con el favor de Dios," or like with God's favor, and
Mm,
that the kid turned and was like, yeah, I don't think we're going anymore. Because apparently that's what sometimes is said when you want to do certain things and
mm,
whatnot, and then you don't follow through.
right.
It's kind of like a saying. So that came up to mind when you mentioned that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Isn't it kind of similar when people say inshallah? It's like, if God wants or something. Is it
Yeah.
a similar thing, right? Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, I see what you mean. I don't think we're going. That's
Yeah.
uh,
Like,
yeah.
they just leave it up to, God, and but they don't follow through. They don't like
Yeah,
execute.
exactly. It's not like God is gonna take you, flying away and just like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. But I thought it was funny because like the kid was like, "Oh yeah, I don't think so."
That's so funny. Oh wow, and it's a yeah. When you take things too literally, right? Is that's what happens.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, it's been so nice. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. I really don't have anything else to cover, and like we've been here for an hour. Usually this goes about for an hour 20. It really depends. But I don't know if you wanted to share anything else, Hazel. If you had any questions as well, go ahead, please. I'm also here to answer questions.
So I did want to ask you like how you started with your like looking into dreams, I guess, or like being interested or having those experiences like super vivid dreams that feel like you're in other realities. Like how did that start for you?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. So I've had crazy dreams since I was little, but for a long time I was kind of not really paying attention to them and didn't see
Mhm.
the value in the messages or anything. And when I started doing meditation, really like but daily, like ritually, I started having more vivid experiences and even experiences where I felt like I was literally popped into a different reality, but even not sleeping. It's like I had these experiences I shared with you guys of like going, it seems like through a portal or something, where it's like superposed in this reality. So it's kind of like a dream, but at the same time, it isn't. So I was like, well, there's something that needs to be explored further here because um, I'm being taken to these places without even intentionally going there. And also, there were certain dreams where I felt like I was connecting to future aspects of myself, and some people would call them guides, or some people call them what's it called? Yeah, or higher aspects, or whatever you want to call them, right? Those people that are or angels. Some people call them angels. I don't align with angels, but you could say that, right? It's like these beings or these people that come into your dreams and talk to you and bring you very important messages when right when you need them too. It's like it was very synchronized with things that were happening in my life. And this again, this started more or was more intense when I started meditating. So I correlated that, and I was like, okay, there's something here. And then the more I looked into it, the more I realized that this was definitely a big part of me, like since forever. And I started remembering, yeah, I remember reading books before, even since high school, on dreams, and then thinking, oh, this is just a hobby, right? It's like
Yeah.
it didn't seem like something I could pursue as a career or anything like that. But then lately, I've been thinking that's exactly what I need to do is focus on what I like, what brings me joy, and like so this phrase from was it Alan Watts is coming to mind, is focus on what you like and don't worry about the money. It's like
Yeah.
because that will come later, but first you got to focus on what you want to do, and then with time, because this linear reality, it's like it takes time, right, for things to happen, but trust that it will happen. And then so that's what I did, right? It's like, okay, well, I'm going to keep reading more about dreams. I'm going to keep doing techniques and keep seeing what messages come through for me in order to be able to provide something that is useful for other people, for myself, but also to other people. And I wanted to come from personal experience. So since I know that, I'm deeply connected to my dreams, this is, for me, the perfect way to actually provide something that will be of value for all the people out there that are having crazy dreams and that maybe don't know how to interpret them and that would like help interpreting them, or maybe work with me if they also would like to do dream work and stuff. So yeah, that's I guess, yeah. So it started more like in 2020, I guess, is when I started looking more seriously at dreams than ever before.
Yeah. Wow, thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Honestly, I would say the same for me. At around 2019, 2020 is when I started looking into like, what are my dreams trying to tell me? And I'm
Oh,
so happy that I came across you, and because it's
oh,
really nice to like hear other perspectives, or just all the information you share, the books excerpts that you share. I really enjoy them. It's awesome.
thank you. Oh, I will definitely keep doing that. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. And we'll be doing other stuff sometime soon here and revolving around dream work.
Yeah, awesome. I think it's so fun. I love it. Everyone in
Great.
my house hears it, yes.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Everyone in my household hears it. I'm like talking about my dreams, and yeah, but they don't pay attention as much as I do.
Right. It's
Yeah.
the same with my family, right? It's like for them it's just like, yeah, stories that could happen in your head, right? It's they
Yeah.
don't see them as what they really are, which is other dimensions, parallel realities, or yeah, it's just crazy, right? Anyway, but you can't convince people to learn something when they're not ready to receive the information. And it's just, like we said before, it's like just say what you feel, and it doesn't matter if people think you're crazy. Later on they will understand. Later
Yeah.
on, it's
Yes, they will.
yes. Oh, well, I don't know, but what do you think? I think this is a good way to wrap it up, unless you wanted to say anything else or ask any other questions.
Um, I think I'll save it for next time. Uh,
Awesome. Okay.
yeah, I was a little nervous, honestly, because I had just, it's morning time here, and I woke up a little late today. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna, learn how to share with people, and
Thank you
because it,
so much.
it does make me so nervous. But I appreciate you holding this space.
Oh, of course. I appreciate you accepting my invitation to speak
Yeah.
because, yeah, and thank you, Claudette. Yes, I'd love to hear more from you next time. So yeah,
Yes.
I'll keep you posted as to what the topic is for next week. And thank you,
Perfect.
everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Hazel. Thank you, Claudette, Mark, and to those of you who were here before that are maybe not here anymore, or those of you listening to this in another browser. I can't see you, which is weird, but hi. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, so I'm gonna end the show, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bisous.
Bye.